Okay. Hello, I am Alphonso McGriff III, and this is Alphonso Speaks, and I like to use this platform to give people information about the conscious conversation experience. I um I am so tired of watching us arguing and fighting and hurting each other, and I can't control other people. So what I made a decision to do was write a book about how we can be better with how we verbally interact with each other and share the information. This is the book, The Roots of a Tree, The Genesis of a Conscious Conversation. And what I talk about in every night when I come on this program is what's in this book. So again, it's The Roots of a Tree, The Genesis of a Conscious Conversation. And on the back, I speak with respect and modesty. I listen with compassion. I seek understanding. I keep an open mind. And the key to having a conscious conversation is the desire is to understand. The desire is always to understand. The goal is to understand. The purpose is to understand. Our reason for interacting is to understand each other. So that's what this is about. And just as a reminder, this Saturday coming up, the Taste of the Caribbean Arts and Culture Connecticut Incorporated presents the Hartford, Connecticut's Taste of the Caribbean Jerk Festival on Saturday, August 1st, 2026, from 1 to 9 p.m. down there at the riverfront. So from 1 to 9 p.m. is free. It's going to be vendors. It's going to be food. For those of you who have the little ones, they have the children's village where they do all kind of arts and crafts and all kind of interesting things for young people. They there's going to be live entertainment, two stages, one upstairs, one downstairs, and it's just going to be a great day. So I would like to let you know that if you want to have a good time this Saturday, come down to the riverfront and enjoy Hartford, Connecticut's Taste of the Caribbean Jerk Festival. Have a good time. And I also let people know that if you want to have a conscious conversation, you're interested in having a conscious conversation, then let me know. We can get together and have a conscious conversation. It doesn't matter what it is you want to talk about. If it's something that I can relate to, and we can talk about it, it's all good. So I'm always open for a conscious conversation. It can be with a group of young people, it can be with a group of adults, or it can be one on one. It just depends on what you want. So I'm always open to have a conscious conversation. At this stage of the game, I believe that I have so much good information. I just want to share it with people. I want to share it with people in hopes that maybe some of the things I share can help you improve the quality of your life. And so um, I I have to admit that everything I do is for me. Even when I do this, because I learn more about myself, I learn more about what I think I understand. And while I'm sharing, I have no problem with other people getting something out of it as well. So I'm open to sharing one-on-one groups of young people, groups of adults, for us to get together and have a conscious conversation. Whatever subject matter you want to do it on, we can have this conversation. I'm usually there to facilitate, to make sure quality of the conversation maintains a certain standard, because that's what conscious conversation is all about. And right now, all I'm asking for is some water and some red grapes. That'll be pay enough. And a bonus would be if you got something out of the conscious conversation and you wanted to write a recommendation, that would be great as well. So, uh, if you want to have a conscious conversation, inbox me. Let's make it happen. The conscious conversation experience is a collaboration and a movement that chooses love and enlightenment. A collaboration and movement that chooses love and enlightenment. Now, I need to bring some clarity because I throw this word love around and I haven't really defined love based on what it means to me. Now, I have the traditional understanding of love, and it never really made sense to me. Even when I was young, I used to just say, "Ooh, that kind of love." I never wanted any parts of the kind of love that I saw growing up. And even after I became an adult, this is the kind of love people are involved in. I'm just not really into it. So, in the book, in chapter 31, I talk about what I identify as the one love experience. And I went over that in detail in one of the past talks. But I just want to define love based on how I see it. And it's probably not going to be anything you've ever heard before. But when I use the word love, this is what I'm talking about. Love is having dignity, 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 and uncompromising, inherent, priceless self-worth and self-value that one can only give to self. It cannot be given by anyone to anyone else. This love I'm talking about is all about self, having dignity and uncompromising, inherent, priceless self-worth and self-value that one can only give to self. The reason why you can't give it to anybody else, because no one else can qualify, receive it the way I need to or you need to. And when it comes to them, if they're participating in this kind of love, there's no one other than themselves that can qualify to receive that kind of love. No one. And so the love I'm talking about, having dignity and uncompromising, inherent, priceless self-worth and self-value that one can only give self, it cannot be given by anyone to anyone else. This love is powerful and it's real, and it will make life so much easier. Because at the end of the day, uh, Bobby Womack, I think he made a song called "Looking for a Love." Won't be looking for love anywhere. The only place you can find the love that I'm talking about is in the mirror. No one else can give you the kind of love that I'm talking. No one can give you self-like, self-love, self-respect, self-responsibility, and self-knowledge. Those are the five essential tenets of love. And when I use the word love, I'm talking about having dignity and uncompromising, inherent priceless self-worth and self-value that one can only give to self. It cannot be given by anyone to anyone else. When I speak of love, that's what I'm talking about. And so what happens when we're in these different relationships and different types of relationships with other people, and there's this general understanding, oh, I love my family, I love my this, I love my that. That's cool. But when we're getting down to it, if somebody wants to have a real uh, quality interaction and relationship, something like say a marriage, boyfriend, girlfriend, both people have to engage in this kind of love for themselves. And then if they have a compatible frequency. Like two people that get together that feel unbelievably good about themselves and their self-worth and their self-value, and they get together and they have a compatible frequency, that is super powerful because now it's not about trying to figure out how to express your love for somebody else. What it's about is enjoying the compatible frequency that we have, this vibration, and moving in a natural way. When we have natural compatibility with somebody, there are certain things we just do. And when that frequency is compatible, it touches our emotions. And when our emotions are touched based on a high frequency, then it's just a natural occurrence that we vibe. We don't have to uh, engage in the love we've been taught about on Valentine's because it's bogus. It's not real. It's a commercial. It's a marketing campaign. True love can only be given to self from self, according to me. That's not necessarily the truth, but according to me. Again, love having dignity and uncompromising, inherent, priceless self worth and self value that one can only give to self. And the reason why you can only give it to yourself is because it's not possible to feel the same way about anybody else. You can't feel, it's impossible, according to me. I always have to say according to me, not necessarily the truth. But according to me, it's impossible to feel the same way about somebody else that you feel about yourself. It's just not possible when it comes to love, when it comes to having dignity and an uncompromising, inherent, priceless self worth and self value that one can only give to self. It's not possible to give that to somebody else. They have to have that on their own. They have to have that for themselves. And when you're dealing with two people who have that kind of love for themselves, it's the power is released. And there's a compatible frequency that's connected to our emotions, and the frequency is high, so our emotions are good. This is common sense. When the frequency is low, our emotions are not good. When the frequency is high, our emotions are good. When the frequency is compatible and high, and both people have this kind of love for themselves, then if the frequency happens to change, emotions don't determine the next move, but the love you have for yourself is what determines the best moves in both cases, in both people involved, with everyone involved. Emotions never make the decisions. It's the love we have for self that makes the decisions. Having dignity. When we make decisions based on dignity, when we make decisions based on an uncompromising, inherent, priceless self worth and self value, when we make decisions based on that, those are going to be the best decisions. That is where the love is. That compatible frequency and the good feelings associated with a high frequency, that's beautiful. But when the frequency is no longer compatible and the emotions are no longer high and wonderful, Then when the decisions need to be made, they're not made based on our emotional state. They're made based on the love we have for ourselves. So I just wanted to put that out there. And anybody interested in understanding this love that I'm talking about, when I talk about the one love experience, we can talk about it. We can have a conscious conversation about that. And it's a beautiful thing, this kind of love I'm talking about here, man. You know, it's a beautiful thing. For those who understand it, it's a beautiful thing. That's all I can say. So tonight, again, the conscious conversation experience is a collaboration and movement that chooses love and enlightenment. A collaboration and movement that chooses love as defined by me, not Valentine's Day, not Hallmark. The love that I'm defining is the love that I'm talking about. Resolution, the successful solving of a problem. When we engage in these conversations, if there's a challenge or a problem, the goal is resolution. If we're not moving towards resolution, what's the purpose of the conversation? Especially if there is something that needs to be solved. I'm here to help myself and people around the world transform conflict into conscious conversation that leads to understanding, resolution, and enlightenment. That's what I want to do. What is a conscious conversation? A conscious conversation is a verbal interaction where we speak with the desire to understand. We ask questions and we share information. We take responsibility for our thoughts, words, and actions and control our prejudices and emotions, which, if left unchecked, will disrupt the goal of having conscious conversation. The strength of a conscious conversation is its ability to inspire rather than manipulate. Ultimately, the conscious conversation experience is a pathway to understanding, resolution, and enlightenment. I've learned that developing myself can lead to unnecessary challenges with insecure people who are intimidated by those who have a sense of self. That is not our problem, but it is part of the reality of personal growth. Insecure people just naturally have a problem. So that's something we have to deal with. Now, tonight's thought that I'm willing to have a conscious conversation about, and the title of tonight's thought is I don't vote. I've never voted. And for many people, that's blasphemous. How can you not vote? How can you openly say you never voted? That's just horrible for many people. And I say that with a major degree of comfort because I understand why I don't. Now, many people say, well, your ancestors, our ancestors died. Many of our ancestors died so that we can have the right to vote. And I usually respond to that statement by saying, our ancestors did not die so that we can have the right to vote. Our ancestors died seeking freedom. And voting was supposed to be a tool that could be used in helping us acquire this freedom. So voting was a tool. Our ancestors died for freedom, not voting. Our ancestors died for freedom, not voting. Now, many Black people will be disgusted with the fact that I say I don't vote. And the reason why I don't is because absolutely have zero confidence or faith in politics and how it works. On the national level, the president is not put into office to serve the people. The president is put into office serve banks and big business. So the president is basically the overseer. Banks and big business are the masters, and we are the servants. Now they present an illusion like we matter. They make us feel like we matter when they have the big election and they have the maps on the news. And they talk about the electors, and each state has Democratic and Republican electors, and whoever wins the state, those electors. The funny thing is, whoever wins the state, the electors in that state are the ones who actually vote for the president. They're the ones who actually get a chance to vote for the president. That's why they have the electoral college. So the electoral college, when those electors get together, when those electors get together, it's a total of 538 electors that are spread out throughout the United States. And each state has the same amount of Democratic electors and the same amount of Republican electors. So, for instance, in the state of Connecticut, so in the state of Connecticut, how many electors in the state of Connecticut? No. So in the state of Connecticut, you have seven, seven electors. When everyone goes and they vote, those seven electors are going to be represented by Democrats. And then when that takes place, see, because what we're doing is we're voting to determine which electors get to participate in the vote at the electoral college. That's what we vote for. When you go to the polls and you vote for the president, you're just determining in your state which electors get to go and vote, the Democrat or Republican. Because it's 538 people that determine the president. It's not 345 million. 538 people determine who the president is. Of that 538 people, seven are here in Connecticut. And when you go and vote, you are determining which seven goes. Is it going to be seven Democratic electors or seven Republican electors? And so by the time the vote is finished and they're constantly counting up the electors, they're trying to get that, what's that midpoint? When they get to that midpoint and they find out 538, when you start getting around 260 electors, you just need 270 and you're the winner. So the first person to 270 electors, that's going to be the president. Is going to be the president is going to be represented by Democrats and Republicans. If If the Democrats get to 270 electors first, then they're going to be the president. If the Republicans get to 270 electors first, then it'll be Republican. That's how it works. So when the people vote to determine which electors get to vote, of those 538 in Connecticut, there are seven U.S. senators and five U.S. representatives. So, and so at the end of the day, I'm saying that we don't even determine who the president is. And if we did, then they wouldn't need an electoral college. I remember back in the day when I was reading and studying history, one of the things that I read was that when they were arguing about the electoral college, one of the people literally argued that we cannot leave it in the hands of people to actually determine who the president is. So you can have all of this stuff going on with the maps and all of that kind of stuff, and don't take my word for it, but look it up. Even if Connecticut voted Democrat and those seven electors become seven Democratic representatives, when they go to confirm their position out of the 538, they can change their mind. Even though the people put them in as Democratic electors, they can change their mind and become Republican electors. That's why the electoral college. So again, one of the reasons why I don't vote on the national level is because these people are not operating in my best interest. And they say, well, if you don't vote, you can't. Well, in my entire life, I've watched people vote. And even if I had a complaint, there were enough people who voted that's making my complaint that I don't need to complain. They said, well, if you don't vote, then that means you're casting a vote for the other group. Well, how can I cast a vote for the other group if I don't represent either group? Either group is my group. When Obama, during the housing crash, and Obama got all of them trillions of dollars, who did he give the money to? Who did he give the money to? Did he give the money to the people, or did he give the money to the banks and corporations? Don't take my word for it. Look it up yourself. He gave the money to the banks and the corporations, and he asked the banks to work with the people. The banks said, sure, just give us the money. And people still got kicked out of their houses. I don't have any respect for that kind of system. He was supposed to be the man. He was down with the people. When black folks started complaining to Obama, no, I didn't vote for him either time. I haven't voted at all. So when black folks were saying, hey, we got a black president, Obama was very clear to remind black people, I am not of black people. I'm the president of the United States of America. Well, I'm not sure exactly what he did specifically for black people. I know he did some things for people that black people could also benefit. But I know he did some things specifically for Asian people. And he did some things specifically for the Latino community. And he even lit up the White House in the LGBTQ colors. So he didn't have any problems helping specific groups. When it came to helping specific black people, he named that was for everybody, that Black people could also benefit from. So more power to them, man. I mean, everybody got to do their thing. Like the late great Isaac Hayes once said, "Whatever you do, you do your thing." So I'm always clear about that. So anyway, on the national level, no, I don't vote because it's the overseer, the master, and the servant. That's the kind of relationship this government has on the national. On a local level, I don't vote because people say, well, it can make a difference on the local level and this, that, and the other. I'll say I'll vote on the local level. Put it this way: Hartford, Connecticut, Hartford, Connecticut. There's no reason why we shouldn't have a Black mayor every single time. Every single time. Every single time. But there are clearly reasons why we don't. Because those of us who are significant in this community are all divided up by our loyalty. So we can't put a Black person up there and, and make them the mayor because there are certain of those among us who have loyalties to us, and we're so divided we can't represent a Black person in Hartford, Connecticut. I personally, I personally, I can say, I can comfortably say that if ever while I'm still existing on this planet, Black people can come together and put a Black person in office as the mayor, I might actually vote. But right now, when I look at the population, there's just no reason why we can't have a Black mayor every time we want one. But and the other thing about politics that I don't respect is that you can have a situation where you're a politician and you want to represent your 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 area the way you're supposed to do, and you want to show your area I'm doing things for our people in our area. And so in order to get things done, you got to support other people, and then they'll in turn support you. So sometimes you have to support some real wild stuff. Like this guy wants to build a housing project on a nuclear waste site, nuclear dump. And they call on you. You owe me. I supported you to get what you wanted done in your community. Now, as foul as that might seem, and this is a ridiculous extreme that I'm using, but I'm just saying this is how it goes. As foul as that might seem to you, he supported you and you needed his vote for what you wanted for your people. You got to go ahead and vote for him and support him to build that housing project on a nuclear waste site. I'm not saying that that happens. I'm saying that that's how politics works. You have to compromise your self-respect in order to get things done, especially if the person who you owe, who supported you, is doing something that's totally against what you are about as a person. So, yes, I have some challenges with the with politics, and those are some of the reasons why I don't participate in the voting process. I know one time I was in Atlanta after Obama was in on the first time, and I messed up in front of a whole bunch of black college students and said I didn't vote for Obama. And you know how people eyes be open and they start walking towards you real slow, almost like everybody's gonna grab you by the neck at the same time. Yeah, I was in danger, and I literally had to get saved out of that situation. And I understand people are emotional and that kind of stuff, but no, I don't vote. But this might sound contradictory, but I do support Kyle Anderson. Kyle Anderson is a good guy, and he's out here involved in politics. And just because I know him personally, he's a good guy. I support him. I don't. I don't necessarily. I won't. I won't be voting because I don't participate in the process. But for those who do, I think he's a good guy. I just wanted to throw that out there since I was talking about voting. Also, in what ways do I make decisions that hurt me? That's a question I ask every time I'm on. And so I'll ask this question. Do I sacrifice my personal growth, learning opportunities, and building productive relationships because I'm more interested in being right? Do I sacrifice my personal growth, learning opportunities, and building productive relationships because I'm more interested in being right? So we're arguing, and I just want to be I want to be right. Period. You wrong. I want to be. I don't care about what I can learn from you. I don't care about building a productive relationship. I don't care if I'm sacrificing my own personal growth. I just want to be right, and you wrong. Is that is are we doing that? That is what I call making decisions that hurt me when I move in that way. When we talk about a conscious conversation, without the desire to understand, there can be no conscious conversation. So instead of being right, we focus on being understood and trying to understand people. So if we out here sacrificing our personal growth, learning opportunities, and opportunities to build productive relationships because we want to be right, make sure you wrong, and that is a decision. If I was doing that, that would be a decision that hurts me. And making decisions that hurt me, making decisions that hurt me keeps my life miserable, and it's not sexy. I be trying to be sexy. That helps me stay on the right path because I be out in these. I be trying to be sexy. Now, if I'm doing unsexy things, then that's not gonna work out. And sacrificing the opportunity to learn from people and have productive relationships and person because I want to be right. That's not sexy, and um, those are the kind of decisions that hurt me. So I'll just remind you that this Saturday, the Taste of the Caribbean Arts and Culture Connecticut Inc. presents the Hartford, Connecticut's Taste of the Caribbean Jerk Festival, Saturday, August 1st, 2026, down at the riverfront. It's going to be live music, two stages. It's going to be children's village for the little ones, all kind of things for them to do, arts and crafts, and all kind of other things. There's going to be vendors. It's going to be, of course, all kind of food and other vendors. And so try to make it down there if you will. And again, like I said earlier, if you want to have a conscious conversation, I'm here to make it happen. I believe I have so much good information. I just want to get out here and start sharing it. And, if you like to have a one-on-one conscious conversation, that's cool. We can do that. If you want to do it with groups, a group of young people, that's fine. If you want to do it with a group of mature people, that's fine. I'm open to have a conscious conversation. Just inbox inbox me. Let me know it's something you want to do. All I ask for is some red grapes. They could be seedless or with seeds, um, and some water, and we can make it happen. Red grapes and water. Boom. And if it's really a bonus and you like it, then a written recommendation would top it off. So I'm not asking you to open your pocket, take out all that kind of stuff. I do a workshop. When I do a workshop, the fee is start between 2,500 and 3,000 doing these conscious conversation workshops. But right now, I'm charging red grapes and water and a letter of recommendation if you like what I do. So inbox me if you want to have a conscious conversation with a group or individually. Doesn't matter what the subject matter is. Just can't be rocket science. I'm not into rocket science. Life. I like to talk about life and understand personal growth and having personal peace and how to get. That's what I like to talk about. So anyway, I appreciate you. You could be doing anything right now in this very moment, and you chose to give me some time in your life. I do not take it for granted. I absolutely love you based on the definition of love I talked about earlier. And if you didn't get it, then watch the tape back because that's the first thing I talk about. I establish what I mean by love. I love you all, and I will never give up on our people. Ever. I will never give up on our people. You have a good night. Um, I'll see you tomorrow.